All right, hello there, welcome back to another wee bit different video. Today's video, gonna be talking about MLB postseason and my thoughts, and also some of the community's thoughts, and also seeing MLB.com's ranking of both pitching and hitting from both teams. Now, let me say something right away, in that I am very much looking forward to this postseason. But this is the first real postseason that I think I'll be watching like almost all the games. Last year I kept up with all the games and I was pretty on it, but I want to definitely take the time to watch more of the teams that, even if I don't think they have a shot, I still want to give it a try. Now, what I mean by that is teams like the Blue Jays or Twins, I don't necessarily think they'll make the run of their lives, but you never know. For example, teams last year like the Phillies made a crazy run. Padres beating the Dodgers was unexpected, so I want to give every team a shot, and I want to see what you guys think about these teams. But anyway, looking at the postseason picture right here, Twins and Blue Jays, the Tampa Bay Rays versus the Rangers, the 4th and 5th seed, and then you have the Orioles with the first round bye, and the Astros with the first round bye. Hopping into the other side, the NL side of things, we got the Brewers versus the Diamondbacks, 3 and 6 seed. Phillies versus the Marlins, 4 and 5 seed. And then, of course, with the first round byes, you have the Braves and the Dodgers. I will give the slight edge to the Blue Jays. I'm not entirely sure. This one's a really close one. Rays versus Rangers. This one I'm having a lot more trouble with because the Rangers are extremely dangerous and can hit the ball out of the park against any pitcher. The problem is that they're extremely inconsistent. What I mean by that is they'll have games where they blow up for 10, 9, 8, and they'll have games where they just completely silent against pitching that really shouldn't keep them silent. So the Rangers are definitely a weird team, and they slump more so than they should. Ultimately, though, what the most notable thing about the Rangers is their bullpen. It's awful. Definitely one of the worst ranked bullpens out of all the playoff teams. So that's probably the thing that will lose them that series if they do lose. I would give the slight edge to the Rays. I do trust their pitching staff more. And while the Rangers are definitely better at batting, I don't think that'll compensate for the bullpen. Going to this side of things, the NL, Diamondbacks and Brewers, I would give the edge to the Brewers. I really do like the Brewers pitching staff. I think they got a lot of pitchers. For example, Corbin Burns. I know Woodruff, if I remember correctly, reading in an article, he might be out for the playoffs, but I don't think that's going to stop them from, again, being able to do just enough with their pitching to hold the Diamondbacks, but also their hitters. I saw on game 1, Brandon Fav. I don't even know how to pronounce the fucking last name, but he had like a 6 ERA or some crazy shit like that. I think they're going to have Zach Gallen for game 2 and possibly Merrill Kelly for game 3. So that's nice, but not entirely confident in their bullpen either. Marlins and Phillies, I would give the edge to the Phillies just because of their batting lineup, but not entirely confident in the Phillies pitching. I know they got Zach Wheeler starting game 1. I would give it to the Astros. I think their pitching's better. I think their hitting's better. I don't think their pitching's better, but I think it's good enough to hold the Blue Jays down. Orioles versus, again, how I have it, Rays. I would say Rays this time around, right? I think the Orioles are inexperienced. I mean, granted, the Orioles easily could win. You know, I think what it comes down to is experience in these moments, though, and the Orioles don't have it. Braves versus what I have, Phillies, Braves, for sure, just because, again, they insane lineup. Dodgers and Braves is what I would have it as in the NLCS, ALCS, Astros, and Rays. And then I would take Rays over Astros, and I would take Braves over Dodgers, and I would have Braves winning the whole thing against the Rays. But I could easily argue Orioles beating the Rays. Like, that's the thing about this AL side of things, is that there's so many teams. Like, I think you could argue Astros, Rangers, Rays, Orioles to take the AL side of things, but the NL, I think it's only really going to come down to the Dodgers or Braves. So I think the AL is definitely wide open, and it's going to be an interesting time for baseball, like I said, because you don't know what you're going to get from that side. Even then, who knows? What if the NL side of things has an insane surprise and someone other than the Dodgers and Braves comes out of it. So we'll see. I just don't have confidence in that. But anyway, let's look real quickly. Postseason lineups and pitching staffs ranked. This is by MLB.com, specifically Anthony Castrovince. Anyway, let me zoom out real quick. He has the Braves at number 1. Have to have the Braves at number 1, and he does. The Braves had a record-breaking team slugging percentage and a team-weighted runs created plus mark similar to that of the 27 Yankees. 27 Yankees. 1927, is that what he's referring to? Matt Olson led the majors in homers and set franchise record for homers and RBIs. Yeah, insane. Rangers at number 2. The Rangers had 10 guys qualifying for battling title with OPS plus marks above league average. When the lineup clicks, it does so in a big way, as evidenced by an MLB leading 26 games with 10 runs or more. Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, and Adolis Garcia all performed like the stars they are, and Mitch Garver had a big bounce back season. Dodgers at number 3. Mookie, Freddie, MVP level form this year. JD Martinez and Jason Hayward proven to be impact acquisitions. Max Muncy bouncing back, and rookie James Outman instantly asserting himself. The Dodgers are as dangerous as ever. Number 4, you have the Astros. Injury issues, injuries definitely have messed with the Astros, but Chas McCormick, catcher Yainer Diaz, and the recent return of Michael Brantley, the Astros hit for power and for contact. Rays number 5. Though the Rays' early season onslaught predictably regressed more towards the mean, this was still a stunning year for Tampa's bats. Their runs per game increased from 4.1 in 22 to 5.3. Their home runs went from 0.9 to 1.4. Phillies at number 6. Bryce Harper is the headline. I mean, seeing what he did in the playoffs last year, his clutch gene knows no bounds. Trey Turner picked things up in the latter half of the season. Nick Castellanos, Bryson Stott, Brandon Marsh, Alec Baum. Now, Orioles, extremely young core. Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson. The O's produce home runs at the middle of the pack rate, but they are adept at situational hitting with the best batting average in MLB with runners in scoring position. That is the definition of the clutch gene. And at taking the extra bag on the base paths, they also limit strikeout. Blue Jays, this might be the most frustrating lineup at MLB. Toronto has a ton of talent and seemingly improved its balance in the offseason, but after finishing second in the AL in runs last season, the Jays tumbled to the middle of the pack this year with maddeningly inconsistent output. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Matt Chapman, and George Springer hampered the run production, but we can't rule out the possibility that the Jays will get hot when it matters most. It's very true. Twins at number 9. Carlos Correa and Brian Buxton both had OPS plus marks below league average. Joey Gallo wasn't much better, and the Twins lead the majors in strikeouts by a wide margin. This is the reason why the Twins are number 9. But the Twins are pretty banged up down the stretch with Correa, Buxton, and Royce Lewis all on the shelf. But this emergence of rookies, Edward, Julian, and Matt Wallner make this lineup a real X factor. So, I mean, ultimately what it comes down to for the Twins, though, like we said earlier, is their pitching staff, because we know that they're not a hitter-first team. D-backs, Arizona's middle of the pack in batting average on base percentage, slugging percentage, and other major categories. But the Corbin Carroll-led club's youth and speed can be a difference maker in the postseason stage. Personally, I don't think there's no way they ever beat the Dodgers, and that's because I don't even think they're going to beat the Brewers. Thanks in part to their in-season acquisitions, most notably outfielder Mark Canha, the Brewers have been more productive in the second half than the first, increasing their runs per game by more than half a run and putting together more big innings. Marlins, though, are the worst ranked hitting team according to MLB.com. Marlins aced the trade deadline with the impact acquisitions of Josh Bell and Jake Berger, and of course the offseason arrival of Luis Arias and a bounce back year for George Soler have clearly moved the needle too. But this remains one of the lowest scoring teams in MLB, in part because one of the league's lowest walk rates and second half struggles with runners in scoring position. Some comments here, some thoughts on the postseason lineups ranked by Reddit. I actually want to share that with you because I think it's always fun to share other people's opinions. Marlins comments are here. We're going to bottom out every one of these lists probably, but one area we absolutely shouldn't is bullpen. And that's going to matter in a 3-game series. Absolutely it will. Didn't realize until now, looking at the stats, how similar the LA and Texas offenses are. They're basically the same. Difference is that Texas bullpen is a disaster. Astros being number 4 here is assuming that Dusty is going to fill out the best possible lineup instead of arbitrarily deciding that Yainer Diaz and Chas McCormick need to be riding the bench half of the games for not being big boy enough. I mean, say what you want about Dusty. I understand that Astros fans have been fed up with some of his shit, but they won the division. Granted, in a division that nobody wanted to win, but they still pulled through. So it can't be that bad, can it? Hopefully, maybe. Marlins bandwagon, just glad to be here, guys. Baltimore Orioles, same. Yeah. Okay, so we got a really heated comment right here. Yeah, the team that scored 0 runs in the most important game of the year and was largely ineffective. By the way, before I further read that comment, the 0 runs, they're referring to the game against the Mariners in the last game of the season. They shit the bed, and they didn't have a single run. It was a 1-0 game. That was it. That was for the division. All they needed to do was score 2 runs, and they couldn't do that. But let me finish the comment now. And was largely ineffective the second half of the season, especially in September, is ranked 2nd. What a goddamn joke. The maker of these rankings can go F themselves. Follow-up comment here. My homie in Christ. They're 4th in WRC Plus. For the year, they scored the most runs in the American League and have a healthy Garver and Evan Carter to help them in the playoffs. Who knows what will actually happen, but on paper, it's hard to argue that they haven't been one of the best offenses in baseball this year and are positioned well in that regard going into the playoffs. So, yeah. Great. I love comments like this that have a great follow-up as to why that other person could be or is wrong, and they back it up completely with some very reasonable stats and takes. Ultimately, the people that have voted this comment, I think they're headline readers, and when they see a team like the Rangers that have just choked time and time again, they get into assumption mode as to where this dude seems pretty reasonable and is providing some good takes, or take, I should say. They are tied 3rd, 1 point behind Tampa at 2, and that was without MVP level Seager. We're absolutely in the combo for best second offense in these playoffs on paper. Who knows what will happen though. All right, so I've been recording for approximately 30 minutes now. I don't know how long this video will be. There's no way I'll have it that long. I'll probably do a lot of edits, maybe around like 18, 19, 20 minutes. What if it's longer? I'd be surprised. But anyway, I'm excited for the MLB postseason. For me, it's tomorrow. For you guys, it's today. I will be uploading this on a Tuesday. But I appreciate you guys for watching. As always, this is Ollie Been Different. All we've been different. And we out.